topography are two major challenges. We're going to be under red flag warnings.
Soaring temperatures across the West are challenging firefighters tonight. Good evening. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Greg Lee. People across much of the West are being warned to prepare for temperatures in the triple digits by the end of this week. The heat only complicating matters for fire crews across California. Hundreds of firefighters working right now to slow the spread of wildfires in hot, windy conditions. One fire burning in the northern part of the state is forcing evacuations. This is a live picture of the Thompson fire, which first sparked shortly before noon in Butte County and has burned about 2,100 acres. The Butte County Sheriff's Office has issued mandatory evacuation orders for thousands of people in communities including Oroville, Cherokee, and Kelly Ridge. There are also evacuation warnings for some people who need to be prepared to leave if necessary. You can see all the smoke there. Oroville Hospital is under a warning. There is no containment of this fire tonight. A couple California wildfires burning with little containment are in San Diego and Fresno counties. The McCain fire is burning on the east side of San Diego County. It broke out yesterday and has already burned at least 1,000 acres. It's about 5% contained. In California's Central Valley, the Basin fire has grown to more than 16,600 acres. It's been burning since last week in Fresno County and is about 17% contained. Investigators are still trying to figure out what caused both fires. And crews in the San Francisco Bay Area are also battling a wildfire. The Toll fire started just north of Calistoga just before 10 a.m. 300 firefighters on the ground plus 7 fixed-wing aircraft and 3 helicopters battled the flames. Forward progress has now been stopped at about 40 acres and it's 10% contained. Evacuation orders were lifted this afternoon. The big worry for fire crews was that windy weather might fan the flames in extreme heat.
We're going to be under red flag warnings, which basically meant augmenting strike teams, augmenting task forces and staff and personnel. So, we were prepared for this type of situation.
Crews are busy laying down fire retardant to make sure that the flames do not spread into unburned areas. The cause of this fire is under investigation. A large wildfire burning in Arizona is about 80% contained. The Boulder View fire has been burning since last week northeast of Scottsdale. Firefighters say they're concentrating efforts on reinforcing fire lines and addressing hot spots. All evacuation orders have been lifted. The fire has grown to more than 3,700 acres. Investigators believe it was human-caused. One of the places people are really feeling the heat is in Phoenix. A live look at conditions in the city where temperatures topped 110 degrees today. Let's bring in KTVU meteorologist Rosemary Orozco. And Rosemary, temperatures are on track to get even hotter this week.
You're right, Greg. And you don't have to be in the desert Southwest to feel the heat. Take a look at California. Palm Springs 115 today. The capital city of Sacramento 105. And to the north, Redding almost 110 at 108. Here's where the temperatures stand right now. San Francisco 84 degrees. This is very warm for the city of San Francisco. As we look towards Las Vegas right now, 107. And as Greg mentioned a moment ago, we are not expected to see any break in this heat in the coming days, including for the 4th of July. The weather forecast for the desert Southwest is going to remain with that monsoonal moisture. Areas over Albuquerque, New Mexico, and parts of Phoenix, Arizona, still seeing that possibility of pop-up showers and scattered showers over the course of the afternoon, in addition to the heat. So very hot, very humid over the desert Southwest. Meanwhile, the west here, from the Pacific Northwest down into Southern California, continuing to see the dry conditions and this ridge of high pressure that is going to be strengthening in and going to be parked right over the west for several days to come. Here's a look at the forecast rolling into Thursday, which is 4th of July, and then into the weekend. There's that high pressure there, that dome that is not expected to move anytime soon. And with that, we are seeing advisories up and down the west, starting in areas of the Pacific Northwest, parts of Seattle and Washington, and then over towards Portland, Oregon, and areas over Medford as well. Now for this area, it comes later in the week. We're talking about it starting on the holiday and lasting into Sunday. But as we take a look over towards California, several advisories here for excessive heat, heightened fire danger, poor air quality due to those fires that we talked about just a moment ago. Stretching over towards areas of Southern California, also included with excessive heat here expected through the weekend. Doesn't expire until early next week. Over towards Las Vegas, it begins on 4th of July. And so that is what we are looking at for the few days to come. Now, this heat advisory and the excessive heat that we are experiencing is going to remain in play for several days. So it's the longevity of it that is also creating big concern. San Francisco tomorrow expected to hit 90 degrees. That is about 20 degrees above the seasonal average, perhaps even closer to 25. And as we take a look towards Phoenix, Arizona in the days to come, triple-digit heat, 115 expected on 4th of July, when folks are expected to be out celebrating and the parades and the picnics and things going on. So it's going to be very, very hot for the holiday. Greg?
Hot week ahead, Rosemary. Thank you. We're following a developing story tonight in Orange County, California. 2 suspects are in custody after a deadly shooting at Newport Beach's Fashion Island Mall. Investigators say one person was killed and another person was seriously hurt during a robbery near the Barnes & Noble store. The victim who died is being described as an elderly woman. Both suspects were taken into custody after a pursuit to Southgate in LA County. A nationwide operation to find missing children got dozens of children in the West to safety.
Hey, police, U.S. Marshals, out of the house, out of the house.
Oh, they can't exit. Okay.
I got movement right here.
The Justice Department says Operation We Will Find You Two ran from late May to late June and got 123 children out of dangerous situations. Another 77 missing children were located in safe locations. This operation included investigations in Oregon, California, and Arizona. Of the 49 cases in Arizona, investigators believe 8 children were very likely victims of trafficking. The U.S. Marshals Service used this operation to target areas that had high clusters of missing children. Several arrests have been made. Today, Arizona police are pushing back against the Department of Justice report that accused Phoenix police officers of discrimination and excessive force. But as Fox 10's Lauren Clark tells us, civil rights advocates say the report is accurate.
City officials and the police department read the report at the same time that the public did. Now, nearly 3 weeks later, they say the report has some serious inaccuracies. They only spoke in generalities today while teasing a more comprehensive report that would go through that investigation.
We have combed through the report and are appalled.
President of the Arizona Police Association, Justin Harris, not mincing words, slamming the Department of Justice's findings into the Phoenix PD.
It is highly irresponsible and offensive for the Department of Justice to make allegations that have zero insight about the incidents they reported on.
Last month, following a nearly 3-year investigation, the DOJ released a searing 126-page report. It found Phoenix PD police discriminates against Black, Hispanic, and Native American people, unlawfully detains homeless people, and uses unjustified, deadly, and excessive force.
We already know of quotes that they have used in their report that actually are not backed up by actual recordings that they took.
Maricopa County Attorney Rachel Mitchell also questioning the report's conclusions, saying details were taken out of context. The DOJ declined to comment.
I believe this is a smear campaign. I believe this is many people who have spoken out, homeless people, people of color, mentally ill people who have spoken out wanting change, and you have facts and evidence based upon lawsuits that we have filed ourselves.
But civil rights attorney Benjamin Taylor, who has sued the city of Phoenix's police department, says it's time for accountability, suggesting the city needs to sign a consent decree with the police department overseen by a judge and DOJ appointed monitor to implement change.
The reason why you don't want the city of Phoenix looking over themselves is because it's like the wolf guarding the hen house.
Proponents say a consent decree helps keep the police accountable while improving their policies. However, critics say that they cost millions of dollars, and cities under one have higher crime rates. The city of Phoenix officials have said on the record that they do not want to sign one, possibly creating a scenario where this could go to a court battle. Reporting here in Phoenix, Lauren Clark, Fox 10 News.
New trouble for EV drivers coming up, how some thieves are making it impossible to get charged. And space tourism for the masses will break down how Las Vegas is at the center of a plan to make that a reality. A Montana senator says he'll block legislation to bring the Washington Commanders back to RFK Stadium until the team and NFL do one thing. Republican Senator Steve Daines wants the NFL and team to bring back the Commanders' former logo in some form. The team left behind its former name and logo years ago after heated debate over its ties to racism. Senator Daines is reviving the debate by blocking a bill funding the revitalization of RFK Stadium. The bill could lead to a new stadium for the Commanders. Soccer fans from around the world are gathered at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara tonight to watch Brazil take on Colombia. The entire stadium sold out. Spectators say it was hard to spot a Brazilian flag among the sea of Colombian regalia, but either way, the pride fans hold for their teams runs deep.
Brazil. Because all the superstars team I was going for was Vinicius, with Neymar, Rodrigo, all the superstars. I think they can destroy Colombia.
Confident young man, Colombia is currently holding on to a 25-match winning streak, while Brazil has won 2 of its last 5 matches. The Pac-12 is no longer, and Oregon and Washington State universities have found themselves a home. Both universities officially started their affiliation with the West Coast Conference yesterday. They'll be joining the ranks of schools including the University of San Francisco, University of Portland, and Gonzaga University. Most OSU and WSU sports will be part of the WCC for the next 2 years, but both football and baseball teams will be exploring other options. Vice President Kamala Harris attended a campaign fundraiser in San Francisco today. We caught these images of her motorcade this afternoon. In front of a crowd of donors, she acknowledged last week's debate was not the president's finest hour. At the same time, she stressed the election should not be decided by one day in June. The vice president has plans to visit Nevada next week. The Biden for Nevada campaign has not said where she'll make a stop in the Silver State, but the trip is set for Tuesday. She visited Las Vegas last week. Nevada and Arizona are considered battleground states in this race for the White House. A Manhattan judge has delayed sentencing of former President Trump that was set for next week on his hush money conviction. Mr. Trump's lawyers asked the judge to throw out the case, citing yesterday's Supreme Court ruling granting him immunity from prosecution for official presidential acts. The case centered on Trump's actions as a candidate in 2016 in an effort to cover up payments to adult film actress Stormy Daniels. But some of the evidence was from his time in the White House. The district attorney's office said they believe Trump's arguments are without merit, but agreed to delay a sentencing until September to let the legal process play out. EV chargers in Seattle have become the latest target for vandalism and copper thefts. Fox 13's Lauren Donovan brings us the details on how electric vehicle owners are affected.
I was on one of the apps looking for charging places, and I did see in the app a bunch of places where all these cords are cut.
If you catch it on the app before you head out, it's annoying, but you can avoid Northgate stations out of commission due to vandalism. Rolling up surprised to find all but one station has been hacked up, that is a serious inconvenience.
So it's broken every charging station. I don't know if
this driver told me he just experienced the same issue down in South Center.
They rely on these chargers to be able to drop their kids off, to get to work, to live their lives.
Right now, these stations at University Village, run by Electrify America, are literally collecting cobwebs. Repairs cost thousands, and criminals aren't letting up.
Unfortunately, the theft of charging connected cables is on the rise.
Rachel Moses spoke with me on behalf of Electrify America. They've got a vast network of these stations, 950 chargers across the U.S. and Canada. 250,000 people plug into their devices each week. They say out of everywhere they serve.
Worst hit has been within Seattle in the state of Washington, followed by Nevada and California. There is a very negative impact on our customers.
Data they've collected shows over the past year, there were 90 incidents of cable theft citywide.
The amount of times that our stations were hit in the Seattle area or in Washington broadly was double what we saw in all of 2023 in just 2024.
It's gotten so bad, they've created this heat map to pinpoint locations thieves target most. You'll see one spot in Georgetown has been hit up an astonishing 50 times.
We're working very closely with the local law enforcement to cut down on this pattern that we've seen.
Electrify America has installed lighting and cameras too, capturing footage like this. In it, we see a group of culprits at work, snipping away with bolt cutters, throwing the copper-rich cords into their trunk and taking off. Same method used in this video too. The State Department of Ecology reports it's been a record year for EV ownership. Nearly 170,000 registered in 2023, seeing an impressive increase of 43% for plug-in sales compared to the year before. The need for these stations is great.
It's really the customers that are impacted as they think about their travel over the holiday break and where they're going to be able to reroute their charging plan.
That was Fox 13's Lauren Donovan. Both Bellevue Police and the Pierce County Sheriff's Department says they have not experienced a rise in these copper thefts. For now, they appear to be worse in Seattle. Today in a Maricopa County, Arizona courtroom, a judge granted a motion to continue Lori Vallow's trial into 2025. She's accused of conspiring in the fatal shooting of her fourth husband, Charles Vallow, and plotting the attempted murder of her niece's ex-husband, Brandon Boudreaux. The judge also approved Fox's request to record the status conference despite pushback from Vallow's defense.
Especially if it's a visual situation where it's a photo or a video of Lori in court, it's just maligning her, vilifying her for people in our jury pool to see. And what they learn from that information is she is of such a terrible, evil character that she's not even entitled to her constitutional rights.
Vallow waived her appearance and was taken back to Estrella Jail. The next conference for this trial is on September 6th. Some Utah prisoners say a new horticultural program gives them a sense of freedom they've never felt while being locked up. Fox 13's Carrie Kronk shows us how the program is teaching inmates to be good stewards of our natural resources.
This is my baby, this program. I take it very personal, everything that goes on down here, and I put everything I have into this to make it succeed.
At the Utah State Prison, within these walls of confinement, is a rare form of freedom, a vegetable garden.
You name it, we have it. Tomatoes, peppers, onion, garlic, kale, kohlrabi, everything you see at the store plus more.
I've been in prison since 2001. I've been here at the greenhouse since 2016.
Cody Nielsen spends roughly 6 hours a day tending to rows of vegetables. He's one of a crew of 32. This unique opportunity is part of the prison's horticulture program that allows certain inmates to work here while incarcerated.
I will check them on our computer system. I'll look to see when their last write-ups were. You have to behave not only here, but back on your housing unit, you also have to behave.
Cody is serving a life sentence.
It's freedom. When you're here, you're not in prison. The respect you get from staff.
He also likes the added responsibility and the opportunity to contribute positively. The food grown is used in a different program for culinary arts at the prison, helping supply fresh produce.
We grow specifically for them, so they're not using prepackaged food and stuff like that. We're able to provide them with fresh food so they can get the most of the experience.
It turns out gardening is not only a privilege, it's therapeutic.
Coming out of Max, coming to here, I was diabetic. I was taking insulin. I was taking 11 meds a day. I don't take nothing now.
What has this given you, knowing you'll be in here the rest of your life? Why do you enjoy it or want to do it?
Me being here without my kids, you know, it gives us something that we can give back to the public, you know, a little bit of, you know, we're sorry, but I'm here, but let me try and do the best I can and make the best out of the situation.
According to the Utah Department of Corrections, 96% of inmates at the prison are likely to be released at some point. So these work and learn opportunities are essential.
You got a life ahead of you. Don't screw up.
When you start talking about doing rehabilitation and teaching and educating to reduce recidivism within the institution so that when people are released, they are less likely to come back. That's kind of why I'm so proud, is because this represents the potential of what we can do as a correctional facility.
That was Fox 13's Carrie Kronk reporting. Corrections workers say this program also helps make the prison more sustainable and reduces its ecological impact. Unexpected bat caves forming in the west tonight.
Oh my God, there's one.
Fascinations, negative or positive, draw people to go out and experience them.
Coming up, see how people are taking advantage of this rare wildlife event in Phoenix. And some people want to take Las Vegas visitors on a wild ride beyond the Strip. We'll show you how the Valley may become a space tourism launching pad. A new study published in the journal Nature Communications says Alaska's Juneau ice field is melting and fast. It's shrinking 5 times faster compared to several decades ago. The ice field is melting so quickly, the flow of ice into water is averaging about 50,000 gallons every second. Some scientists say this is a result of climate change, where a warming planet is extending summers and shortening winters.
We already know that Alaska has one of the biggest ice volumes in all of the world's countries. And this ice volume, a lot of it is in these low slope ice fields. So even though some of them are higher than Juneau, as our climate continues to warm, they too will pass this irreversible tipping point. And this is going to continue to accelerate the rate at which sea is rising. And that's quite important should you happen to live in a coastal city like Juneau.
Alaska is especially vulnerable to climate change as it's home to more than 1,000 glaciers. Thousands of bats are turning Phoenix into a temporary home. Fox 10's Ashley Rodriguez spoke to wildlife experts about their abrupt stop on a migration path to Mexico.
It came as a surprise to the National Weather Service Saturday that all that green on the radar around dusk wasn't rain.
In this case, bats.
Every year, 10 to 20,000 bats fly to Phoenix on their migration path to Mexico. And for some reason, thousands of those bats have chosen this tunnel off 40th Street in the Biltmore area to sleep during the day. And this is where they emerge at night. Let's go check it out.
Photographer Alessa Contreras and I tried to catch a sighting of the swarm. We saw one, and just that one scared us.
Oh my God, there's one.
So far, we can't see the bats, but we can definitely hear them. It sounds like they're in between the slabs of the tunnel. Just listen.
The bats, most likely of the Mexican free-tailed sort, are nocturnal, only coming out at night.
There's a fascination, and fascinations, negative or positive, draw people to go out and experience them.
University of Arizona's Dr. Jonathan Durbridge says these furry flying mammals are drawn to any dark spaces without humans. In this case, the Bat Cave in Biltmore is now their temporary maternity roost, where females incubate their babies until they're ready to fly to Mexico. And for each bat in there now, there will be an extra one flying out.
That number towards the end of the summer is actually going to be slightly larger, maybe significantly larger.
Robert Polk has brought the family to sit outside the tunnel until nightfall to watch the summer swarms, an activity that's captivated humans for centuries.
Coming in at the right time and waiting and being patient, you'll get to see them coming out. Yeah, it would be worth it.
That was Fox 10's Ashley Rodriguez reporting. Wildlife experts say bats rarely attack humans. The mammals eat bugs, especially mosquitoes. Finally tonight, the Federal Aviation Administration has approved the use of land north of the Las Vegas Strip for a spaceport. Renderings posted online show spaceport developers want to build a hub for commercial and private space tourism. The property would include a hotel, passenger terminal, rooftop observation deck, and restaurant. It would also host a post-high school STEM academy with space vehicle simulators. Phase 1 of the project has already secured $10 million from investors. The Las Vegas Review-Journal reports the overall project is expected to cost at least $310 million. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. We'll see you here tomorrow. Good night, everybody.